Tim Reed in studio right now, our resident vinyl expert.
Yeah. So you were talking earlier about the amount of cocaine that they're using on the show.
It's unbelievable.
I think they're using so much. I'm surprised there was anything left for the people in the 80s.
Well, the only reason they've been able to do the the only reason they've been able to actually do this program is that they got El Chapo and they confiscated a whole bunch of cocaine.
They did it all.
Yeah, they've brought it all in here.
Yeah,
an amazing show that has its irregularities, but at the same time pretty accurate, and it uncovers some really incredible moments.
Right, exactly.
From rock and roll history.
Yeah, I think some people that you kind of you've forgotten about in regards to it, but it really was. I thought about it afterwards. It really was kind of an inflection point for rock in regards to it was you were coming off of the Beatles and that whole crew. You'd had kind of the big three had died at that point in time, which was Janis, Jimmy, and Joplin and Morrison.
Yep.
Those three had just died.
Yeah.
And then you came into the next kind of wave, which was disco was just about set to come.
Yeah.
And punk rock, which was the kind of the reaction to that. So
it
was an interesting time.
And then there was music was so really different, and because think about what hadn't really come into play, and that is the album AOR, album-oriented rock radio.
Right.
And WOUR was one of the first FM stations to really get any play at all. It was really strong in Syracuse because there was nothing like it. And, of course, WNEW, I think in New York City, was the legendary. But at the same time, all of a sudden, stations were playing that you wouldn't talk over the intro of the song.
Right.
You'd play the full album cut, or in some cases, they'd play the full album. And it was a completely different time in music, away from that pop side, which had everything from Elvis to Frank Sinatra to the Bee Gees. I mean, it really was an interesting time in music.
I remember going in I think it must have been 71, when the old WOUR used to be on Genesee Street, and it was like 1 o'clock in the morning, and we just walked in on the DJ.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was
everybody had the munchies
different.
in those days.
Very different.
Everybody had the munchies. Yeah. It was very different, and I just think that out of that came a more established everything. Exactly. From radio to music and everything else.
If you got listeners, you got money, and money just found a different way to kind of funnel. So yeah.
All right. So listen, during that time, maybe the Boilermaker was just a little bit of a dream.
It was a dream in Earl's mind.
Hadn't even started yet.
No. When people were running, they were probably running away because they stole something. Or something.
That's right.
There was no running.
But now here we are in 2016, and where are we right now in terms of open? So this is not open registration. This is registration.
This is advanced registration. These are all the folks they've had 1 week to sign up that ran last year within prescribed limits. And the latest and greatest numbers are we're at. I just checked this morning. For the 15K, we're at 7,449.
Okay.
And for the 5K, 1,816. So, if we kind of do the
What's
math.
the number on the 5K? What's your limit on the 5K?
4,500.
It's what again?
4,500.
4,500.
And 14,000 for the 15.
Okay.
So we're actually a little. If we look at our numbers, we're a little bit ahead of where we were last year at this time in regards to. So that'll mean there are less slots for open. A few more probably open for the 5K than we saw last year.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
And how many did you say were sold on the 5K? I maybe misheard that.
1816.
Oh, 1816. So
we're going to have. It looks like at noon on Saturday, depending on what right now where we stand.
Yeah.
This is going to shut off at noon today, and then noon at Saturday.
Open
registration opens. So if it kind of held where it is, it looks like there'd be about 6,500 slots left for the 15K and 2,700 for the 5K.
Wow. And, here you are in 2016 where this just sells out. This tends to sell out really, really quickly.
Yeah, I think it'll be. I think tomorrow will be a short day.
Yeah. So that opens up at noon. You can do it only online. Is that how it's done?
Only online.
All right.
Yeah. So, and we've got enough bandwidth to be able to deal with it. I mean, that was one of the big issues when we used to have
in
the
the
first
beginning.
First serve. You'd be nervous that can the system handle the traffic.
Any tips you can give people on how they should do this? What they should do? There's a big one that I have, but let's see what you have.
Let's hear yours first, because then I can laugh about it.
It is the most. I think it's the most accurate of all, and that is, don't think this automatically sells out. So if it gets to be 3 o'clock in the afternoon on Saturday, and you're like, I can't believe I missed it.
Right.
Be careful, because you might wake up Monday morning and find out it didn't sell out until Sunday night.
That's exactly what happened last year.
Yeah, I think people they think it's gone, and they don't even try.
It went, the first couple thousand slots went within an hour, and then all of a sudden it just went down to a trickle, and I think it was that, and everyone thought, well, I was, out with the kids, and I guess I'm not getting in this year. And suddenly there were 1,000 slots left. So it took about a day last year. I think it's going to be shorter this year.
Any ideas, again, any other tips that you would suggest that people do?
Well, I just would say, get in there early in regards to it and keep checking. If you're not going to be around at noon, I know there's going to be a lot of games and things like that or whatever, but give it a shot.
You can save some time by getting some pre-colored eggs. You don't have to waste all
absolutely.
that time.
That's right.
That's true. Yeah.
That's right. You get that vinegar and that color on your keyboard.
Who needs it?
Screw everything
Who needs it? And by the way, if you're having a difficulty getting in, just give Tim a call.
Yeah,
he'll do it for you. He'll sign you up for it.
Thank you so much. Yeah, you can be like anonymous. Reveal my cell phone number and whatever, and all those.
I've had like 5 people though say, "Hey, could you help me get registered?"
Yeah, nice.
And
you just did. You helped them.
My answer is, this is so intense that there's really no strings pulled on this one. This isn't a. There's no string pulling going on.
Right,
here,
exactly.
All right, I've been asking.
I just wanted to say, so just a reminder, if you ran last year, because you're going to get these calls in June, I've run it for 10 years in a row now.
Oh, many have run it for 50 or 60, apparently.
Yeah.
What I hear.
So
we've only run the race 38 years.
If you've run it before, if you ran it last year especially, you have until noon today to get the the advance.
For the race you ran.
Right.
So if you ran the 5K last year, then you
can
first
sign up for that
5K this year. 15K last year, 15K this year.
The idea is that after it sells out, don't be in that, because you've had the full week to be able to do this. So make sure you get in today.
And then we ended up with this long wait list for people to try to get in regards to it. It was like 1,200 folks, and then there still is charity bibs available. There's, I want to say, probably about 40 of those bibs left. Some really wonderful organizations, and some just great stories. So that's another option.
All right, good stuff. We'd love to see this thing move quickly like this. It's pretty awesome. And with the weather the way it is, you're already seeing people out running.
A lot of people out running.
And although the next 3 or 4 days, not going to be all that pleasant, but we'll be back up into the 50s
because
after that.
I'm getting set to take my snow tires off my car.
That's exactly it.
Exactly. Just bring it in.
Yeah. I pulled out the lawn chairs, and I'm looking at snow driving in this morning. All right, Tim, thanks. Boilermaker.com.
Boilermaker.com.
Yeah, tomorrow morning. And you still have until noon today, though.
If you ran last year. If you ran last year,
right.
The registration thing's right there. Push it.
Make
Vote
it
early, vote often.
7:19. Here's Christine with an update. Good morning.